And unless I'm greatly mistaken, we're live. Hello, Twitch. Anybody who happens to wander through my stream. I'm Purblind Gamer, the legally blind streamer of mostly older, mostly horror video games. I haven't really started streaming officially yet. These are mostly just test streams to see if I can do it, figure out technology and such like, and whether I can interact with chat, whether I can position chat correctly in OBS. But I know I've had problems with my previous streams, and I think I've worked out the audio issues involved changing settings in Windows 10 microphones. There must be an easier way to do this. Anyway, if you happen to end up in here, feel free to say hello, and I'll be playing this wonderful horror game in honor of Halloween. I guess it's a little bit late for Halloween, but that happens. Eventually I'm going to get a better microphone, like either a USB microphone lavalier or a stand that I can put my Blue Yeti microphone on, so it will be somewhere close to me but not between myself and the screen. Anyway, getting back into the game. We were stuck on day 2 last time, partly because I was an idiot and didn't check the books in the library carefully enough. I did look at a walkthrough just to help me get started again, and I played this game years ago, so I have some memory of what to do. Let's see, yes. Trilby is searching the books. A map is always handy. And there's one other book we need to find in this library. Oh, I found a way to cycle through the cursors just by pressing the space bar, which is very useful. There's something on this shelf, I believe, that was a history of the Defoe Manor, which we are currently trapped in, along with the 5 others. I think I said last stream that this game didn't have any pixel hunting puzzles, but I was not quite correct. Because the books all look the same, you basically just have to click on different parts of the same row of books. Unless there's another book here that we're not able to pick up yet. But the map was what we needed to advance the plot, because, as we recall, Philip, the so-called treasure hunter, was out in the garden, or the backyard, using his metal detector and digging up holes, looking for treasure-filled tombs. I wish there were some treasure-filled tombs in my backyard. It's entirely possible that there are. I haven't really gone out there and dug things up. If I remember correctly. Yes. There's a blurry shape visible in the water, but I can't tell what it is. Perhaps if the pool were drained. That's one of our objectives right now, is to drain the pool and see what's underneath. Selecting inventory. Oops. Here's the plan for the manor. Hey, Mr. Hardy, I found this old map in the library. Did you? Take a look. The tomb is quite clearly under the front yard. But this is the backyard. There's no way into the front yard. Sucks, doesn't it? Well, I guess that's my escape plan out the window. Thanks a bunch, buddy. Don't mention it. Can I borrow the metal detector? Why the hell not? Take away my hopes, might as well take away my only worldly possession, too. Have fun with it. Thanks. Now, do excuse me. Yes, Philip and Trilby don't get along especially well. A bit of a rivalry between professional thieves, even if they call themselves something different. Now that we have the metal detector... Wait, what is it we're looking for in the yard? I wouldn't know where to begin. I need a starting point. Oh, no, I think we're trying to use it to drain the pool. So... We'll start with the pipe leading out of the pool. There. I can track where this pipeline leads with the metal detector. The trail ends here. So perhaps it's in this hole. And what have we here? Philip's labourings must have covered it up. Which is a panel. It actually tells, like, the label of the hotspot your cursor's over down at the bottom. I didn't realize that last time. Well, that didn't seem to do anything. I wonder if we need another tool. Oops. Let's go back and look at the pool. It is drained. Oh, Christ. Yeah. This is definitely the man I met in the landing, presumably AJ. Looks like someone tied him to an iron hook at the bottom of the pool. But I think he was dead before then. His throat's been slit open by some large-edged weapon. God, the stench. I've got to find the others. Dead? How? Murdered. He was stabbed to death, then tied to the bottom of the pool. Oh my God. You know what this means, don't you? We are the only ones in the house. The killer has to be one of us. Not necessarily. I don't think any of us could engineer... Shut up! It was you, wasn't it? You killed AJ, and now you're covering your tracks. Philip, you're being absurd. Why would Trilby tell us where the body is if he wanted to hide it? He's covering his tracks. He was the last to arrive.
Don't tell me you're not a bit suspicious of him.
Look, what happened to AJ was a terrible thing, but if we let it tear us apart, we could all go the same way. He's got a point, Philip.
Oh, I see. You're all in on it together.
Philip,
shut up. As far as I'm concerned, there's no one I can trust anymore. From now on, it's every man for themselves.
Philip.
Idiot.
He's shaken. We all are. So what do you think? About AJ, I mean. I'm not really sure. I think we're being haunted. Oh, well, at least someone's keeping their head. Look, I'm not exactly in love with such an unscientific idea as a murderous ghost, but nothing other than the supernatural could have engineered this situation. And this house has a bad history. A history I think it's time I started looking into. Well, do whatever you want. I think I'm going to look into AJ's death with a slightly more sensible attitude. Where's Jim? Someone should tell him about AJ. I think he went upstairs. I'll go look for him. Father? Jim? Jim, is that... What are you doing, Father? Father, no! No, don't! Father!
Hold on.
Another nightmare. Day 3. Jim, sorry, Mr. Trilby. You wanted me to wake you. Did I? You remember yesterday? You told me about AJ, then said you were going to look into the house. And then you asked me to wake you in the morning so you could get started. Yes, I remember. Thank you, Jim. Anytime. That bathroom scene is... Oof. One of the scariest scenes in the game. I remember when I first played it, it quite took me by surprise. Now we're getting into some of the real horror of the game. Let's see. What's changed this day? There's Philip. And see if the canvas has changed again. It's a portrait of a wizened, bearded old man in a safari suit. The plaque reads, Sir Roderick Defoe. So in addition to whatever else is going on, the painting ages every day. Philip Harty, a rather wild-eyed young man in a leather jacket and khakis. Hello, Philip.
Leave me alone, cat burglar.
Yes, for some reason, there's a bug that makes it slow. Select the text options. Feeling any better this morning?
Oh, I'm just Peaches. Now go away.
What are you doing? Let's see. Select it with numbers.
None of your business.
Are those maps of the house?
Yes, they're maps.
I'm going to find a way out. Then I'm going to get away from this madhouse once and for all. And after that, if I ever see your smug pinstripe suit wearing face again, it'll be 1,000,000 years. Come on, Phil. None of us could possibly have killed AJ.
You want to bet? You're over 6 foot. You could have done it easily.
Maybe I could have, but I didn't.
Prove it.
You know I can't.
Well then.
You know your attitude could be the death of us.
It's certainly going to be the death of you if you don't get out of my face.
Philip, I'm across the room from you.
But alas, that's not an option. Have you seen the others? No. All I know is that they're not here bothering me. Why don't you join them?
Well, catch you later. No, I don't think we're going to get on with Philip for the duration of our stay here. Oh. I just found it out here like this. Do you know whose it is? Yeah, it's mine. Did you bring it in here last night or something? No, of course not. It was in the front yard, and there's no way into the front yard. Maybe someone's trying to help us. Maybe. I'll go and find the others and let them know about it. Sure. Great. My lockpicks are here. They must have fallen out of my pocket while I was getting out of the car. I'll hide an emergency pick in the lining of my tie, like I usually do. It's one of those strange things that I always wondered about, is why exactly one of the ghosts or something brought his car into the part of the house where they were trapped, just to mess with them. Locked. Oh, wait. Now that we have lockpicks. And it's possible it explains that in the sequels. I've only played the first sequel. But I've read that the fourth game in the series changes things up a bit. So maybe that'll explain things like why a car suddenly appeared here overnight. There we go. This is tool shed. Rather sparse. I wonder what rare delights await within. The cupboard is bare. I guess that's the only cupboard one can open. With saw. And a pickaxe. I mean, if it's an adventure game and if they're there, they'll probably come in handy. I'm just glad I have pockets deep enough to hold a saw. I think there was one game that tried to explain the inventory paradox of adventure games, how you seem to have bottomless pockets, like... but I can't remember what game it was. There's something with the character's hat was able to store everything. Now we've got our lockpicks. We might be able to get into some of the other rooms upstairs. That's another one of those rather convenient things. They fell out of his pocket as he was, using his grappling hook to get into the second floor, or even getting out of his car. I think I did it, but it still won't open. There must be a deadbolt on the other side or something. Note to self, deadbolts are safe. There we go, unlocked. Here's another bedroom, which we haven't previously been in. There's nothing in the wardrobe but that little book. Oh, I see it on the top shelf. Let's see what it says. For those of you who didn't see last week's stream, we had several books or documents that talked about the history of this place, the Defoe Manor. And that's a plan. I never looked at it though. It's a very old architectural plan of Defoe Manor. There's Defoe Manor with the underground tomb clearly marked as being under the front yard. There's something odd about this map. Like there's something missing. No, it's not that. There's something here that doesn't belong. Something I don't recall seeing in this house. Which I think will come into play later on. It's not the second floor. You know, all those 5 rooms. That's the one that's dead-bolted. Site of burial ground. It's hard to decipher these blueprints. You're not sure what it is that doesn't belong. But we'll come back to that. Oops. Which book did we just take? Oh no, this is the same history of the family and Sir Roderick and Matthew Defoe that we read last time. Where's the book we just took out of the wardrobe? Did I just close the wardrobe and not take the book out? That is the sort of thing I've been known to do. Yes. There we go. Now we have it. The Diary of Sir Roderick Defoe. And I won't do a voice for him because don't want it to get too similar to any of the other characters. No. Forgive me. My mouse is moribund. I'm supposed to get a new one in the next day or two. March 5th, 1805. Work on the house is going well. It should be completed by the end of July. Belinda is already excited about the forthcoming wedding, and spends many hours of the day going over even the smallest details over and over again. Not since our early courtship has she been so giddy with joy. It softens my heart to see her smile, and she smiles often. I am wondering why I didn't retire sooner. August 12th, 1805. I am only now having the opportunity to write this, as it has been a most hectic day. The wedding went without a hitch, and the house was ready for us to move in as soon as the ceremony was over. Belinda insisted on consummating our marriage immediately. I am sure, dear diary, this house can expect to hear the laughter of children before 1806 is out. February 14th, 1806. A romantic day for our announcement.
The physician has just left, confirming that Belinda is with child, a child we can expect to be born in June. We have already decided to name the child Matthew if a boy, or Jane if a girl. June 28th, 1806. Belinda is dead. I will never forget her face, ash gray, contorted with pain. The child is healthy. Would that it had never come about and spared me this fresh hell. Blast. May 24th, 1820. Matthew showed me the painting of the grounds that he had created. I worry about the boy. Why can't he have healthier interests, like soldiering? The painting was fair, I suppose, but I would rather my child be less of a weakling. At this point, Matthew is about 14. June 18th, 1821. It is the anniversary of the night I unleashed a horror which I tonight shall remove from this world. May God forgive me. That's the last entry. So we don't know exactly what Sir Roderick was going on about, but it's June 28th that tied into his wife's death. This must be the room Clarence Defoe had picked for himself and his wife. Clarence Defoe being the most recent heir who killed his wife and himself, apparently, a few months ago. Understated nightstand. Funny, there seem to be some little scratches on the wall just under the window. Oh yeah, I see them. I'm not sure I would feel right sleeping in a dead man's bed. Yeah, well, if people have been disappearing and dying in this house for 150 years, I'm not sure you should feel so comfortable sleeping on the chaise lounge and having nightmares every night. Well, what do you know? It opened. Of course, since it overlooks the backyard, this doesn't help me much. I guess that's the tree by the house. Very old and very dead. Not unlike this house. This window must lead into the other locked room on this floor. And I think we have something to get over there. Our old Grolly, or grappling hook brolly, if you will. There's nothing in that particular area for the hook to catch on. Doesn't look like it could support my weight. There's a different colored tile there. While I'm sure it would be highly amusing to grolly across the gap and slam heavily into the tree trunk, it would not be a great help. Oh, now we know how George of the Jungle must feel. I think that's our way in. How do we exit? Let's see. You go back to the library and look at the books that AJ was researching before he died. Oh, there's Jim. I can't think of a use for any of these books at the moment. I mean, you wanted to research the history of the house. AJ was researching the history of the house. These are the books AJ was reading. I can think of a use for these books at this moment. But then, I'm not a gentleman thief. Jim? Yes? Have you seen Philip and Simone? Mr. Hardy's in the dining hall, shouting at everybody who comes in. Miss Taylor said she was investigating AJ. Thanks. What are you doing? I'm just looking for stuff on the house. Why? Dunno. Yes, you do, Jim. Why? Because I want to help, but I'm not sure what I could do. What do you think we should do next? I think we should be doing as much research into the house as we can. You're basically saying what I said last night. Kid's smart. Do you want to tag along with me? Sure. I promise not to get in the way. Let's see what we've got. We've got, what do we have in our inventory? A saw. And the tree was preventing us from swinging across to the other room. Yeah, bits and pieces of this gamer. I mean, I remember the overview, but some of the specifics are coming back to me as I play it again. Use saw. This could take a while. Jim, give me a hand with this. Timber. Crash. Why did we cut the tree down, Mr. Trilby? I'm not exactly sure. I know it makes me feel better. Trilby's playing it extremely close to his chest. I guess the tree fell behind that corner of the house. Pleasant morning to you, Philip. I wonder if anybody watching this has seen that movie The Tingler. There's a scene in that in which a bloody arm raised out of a bathtub full of blood, which the nightmare from last night kind of reminds me of. But pulling him into it was more like the aquatic Nazi killing Christopher Lee in Shockwaves. Oh, right. What are you doing, Mr. Trilby? Just popping out for some fresh air. Why don't you wait for me in the library? Oh, okay. I guess as a professional gentleman thief, Trilby is trying to keep some of his trade secrets from falling into the hands of impressionable young schoolboys who might go buy their own grappling hooks and start robbing old manors, assuming they get out of here alive. Now I know how the Bionic Commando feels. And here we are. An identical wardrobe. An artist's easel with a blank canvas. How philosophical. A single bed. Maybe this room has been left as a spare or something. Understated nightstand. Wonder if there's an overstated nightstand hidden somewhere in the game. Maybe that's a sequel. It's a very old Victorian-era stuffed bear. Don't mind if I do. And why the hell not? It's, for all intents and purposes, empty. Oh. Nothing secret in here. The drawers? I don't paint. I merely steal paintings. There's nothing in here but this old diary. Empty. Oh, maybe it's empty because I just snagged the diary. Yes, that should be it. The Secret Diary of Matthew Defoe, Sir Roderick's son. June 28th, 1814. Today is my 8th birthday. Nanny said I would soon be a big, strong man like my father. I wanted to see him today, but he wouldn't come out of his study all day. Nanny says he always gets cross on this day, but it's not because of me. August 5th, 1817. I found a new friend. He's behind the door in the kitchen, and he doesn't have a name. He likes me to sit and talk to him, but Father gets very angry when he finds me doing this. I asked Father who the boy behind the door was, but he told me there was no boy behind the door, and it was just a silly fantasy. May 24th, 1820. I showed Father the painting I just finished. He said it was quite good, which is the best thing he has ever said. While he was in the good mood, I asked him if I could go and look behind the door in the kitchen. He pretended not to hear me. June 28th, 1821. My father has done a terrible thing. All this time he pretended there was no boy behind the door, and now this. There is blood all over the kitchen floor. I will do what I can. Then we can be a family together and be happy. That's where it ends, except for a little ink blot just underneath the text. I think I've read enough to have some idea of what's going on here. If there is a ghost in this place, there must be some connection to the disappearance of Sir Roderick and Matthew Defoe. Was Matthew schizophrenic or something? Did Sir Roderick kill him and disappear to avoid the law? It's odd that neither of the bodies were ever found. If I could find Matthew's body, perhaps I can get to the bottom of this. Maybe there's a book or something in the library that could help me. Well, that was jolly nice of you to give us a little hint, Trilby. Do the deadbolt. I'm just going to make sure that we're streaming and I haven't botched this. Yep, it appears so. OBS. Oops. I clicked on the render window of the game instead of the game itself. The library is... Wait, that is the library. Jim's back here. Photo albums, road maps and atlases, Encyclopedia Britannica, Oxford English Dictionary. I really need to get one of those for my room. Textbooks on gardening, books on the occult, no doubt interesting bedtime reading. There's a book on simple white magic here. Photography, P.G. Wodehouse. I love P.G. Wodehouse, so funny. The Digest of the Visual Arts. I wonder if those were Matthew's books. The Since Trilby pointed us to that book specifically. Why not? I could certainly do with a laugh. Book on white magic. Ooh, and a white cover. How appropriate. Finding a person from their possession. Tie the possession in question to a stick and dip it in salt. Next, wave it over the place where the subject sleeps. When you hold it in front of you, the object should indicate in which direction the owner lies. That would be useful if that were actually something that worked. I think, maybe we should try some experiments about that on chat. Delving into white magic from old video games, which may or may not have been spurious in the first place. Anyhow. We got the teddy bear, which is probably Matthew's, and we picked up a twig on the first day because, well, because it was there. We pulled the cord out of the TV. Oh, we should go see if the TV says anything interesting today. Probably good for a laugh. You know the BBC. It worked, and then we've got the bear on a stick. Sort of like a dowsing rod. I believe the TV's in here. This morning, in other news, Michael Chisholm, solicitor of the Defoe Estates, was found dead this morning in his office. Mr. Chisholm was found to have hanged himself, and a ruling of suicide has already been declared. This is the latest in a recent string of deaths and disappearances connected to the mysterious Defoe manor. A string which began with the murder-suicide of Sir Clarence Defoe and his young wife, and has been more recently The disappearance of BBC reporter Simone Taylor. Police were hoping to acquire the key to Defoe Manor in order to investigate, but the location of the key was known only by Mr. Cheetham himself. Numerous television stars have already come forward to pay tribute to Miss Taylor, as it becomes increasingly apparent that it disappeared. Something tells me there wouldn't even be that much coverage if there wasn't a celebrity involved. I mean, Trilby may be a cynic, but he's not necessarily wrong. I suppose a lawyer mysteriously hanging himself, together with the murder-suicide, would warrant some sort of mention. Oh, right. There's salt in the kitchen, and the book said we needed salt. Yeah, there it is. Salty bear on a stick. How do we use this? I don't want to use that on myself. That doesn't work. Well, that doesn't work. There's something to work with here, Trilby. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Oh, wait, it said we have to wave it over where the subject sleeps. Which I believe would be Matthew Defoe's bed. Having fun, are we, Philip? I guess that'll do. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. You're not much help, Trilby. Unless we're supposed to look at it rather than use it. It seems to be indicating to my left. Thank you for facing the same way as us, Trilby, to cut down on confusion. Left again. Either it's not working properly or it's pointing straight downwards. He said it was Matthew's talking to a boy behind a door in the kitchen. Except it's behind the pre-Victorian refrigerator. Oh, I think I remember now. I think this was the other significance of the architectural plans. Underground tomb under the front yard. Yeah, he's just saying the same thing. There's something that doesn't belong. If that's... You can't see where I'm pointing, sorry. That's the backyard, right? That's the tool shed. There's a staircase. That's got to be the kitchen, because that's the only one that communicates with the backyard. This is a very unusually laid out house. Yeah, but then so is Hill House, according to the book. There it is. According to the map, there should be a stairwell right behind this wall. I guess someone bricked it over. Fortunately, we have ways of dealing with these matters. Knock, knock. Nice. Uh-oh, music. Are these manacles? What the hell was this room used for? Oh, I guess I should be using the bear. It seemed to indicate that Matthew's body was down here. It's indicating to the southeast. So, that way. It's pointing straight down. Oh. Matthew Defoe, I presume. Did Sir Roderick keep him down here? No, he can't have done. There'd have been mention of it in one of the books I read. So, hold on, I don't think that's Matthew's hand. There's another corpse down here. It looks like the body of a much older man. You know, I have a feeling this is Sir Roderick. Judging by the ribs, he was killed by a large stabbing weapon. But by whom? What was that? It sounded like it came from the other side of the house. Need to do anything with the corpses? It is never wise to disturb the sleep of the dead. as opposed to Philip, who was just ready to barge into any old tomb and take out the valuables. Hang on, I think it might be prudent to save. I remember there are a couple places you could die in this game, and we may be coming up on one. Same old thing as DOS, you can only have so many characters in the title. Secrets Unear. Yeah, I think we'll all remember what that means. Let me make sure that we do seem to be streaming. We aren't having connection problems like last time, but let me make sure chat is working. Yep, seems to be. On the off chance anyone's here, I wish there was some way that OBS could tell you if people were streaming, or I mean if people were watching, because it shows on Twitch itself, like when you're watching a stream, how many people there are. But, oops. There's a noise from the crash came from the other side of the house. I wonder if Welsh dressers are supposed to be unusually nice. No, it's not the TV. Oh, the bell jar with the fetish in it. The bell jar has been knocked over and smashed. Looks like the idol is undamaged. This really is a horrendously ugly little wooden idol. Hang on, what are those little stains? Day 4. Oh shit, dead. Father, why? Oh God, my head. What the hell happened last night? I remember. Oh God, Philip. Did I kill Philip? I don't remember anything. Last thing I remember is putting my hand on that idol. I've got to warn the others. It looked like Simone hit him. It's locked. God knows where they found the key. Our inventory has been suddenly depleted after a plot point. Are we sure we're not playing Alone in the Dark 3? Wait, how do we get out of here? It's stuck shut. Empty. It's just an ordinary bear now. They disassembled our body corpse detector thing. Hello? Is there anyone out there? Quiet. Simone, is that you? Yes, I'm keeping guard. Why? Shut up! You killed Philip! Don't even try to deny it. I did. Don't play games with me. I'm keeping guard over here until the police get into the grounds. Then I'm handing you over.
That was Trilby. There's clearly Philip's body lying on the floor, and it was Trilby who sat up and got hit. But I think he was wearing the mask, the same as in the first nightmare. And
Simone, what do you want now? What makes you think I killed Philip anyway? Oh, well, let me see. First, Jim and I are attacked by some huge guy in a welding mask and an apron with a machete, but manage to get away. Then we come into the kitchen and find a huge guy in a welding mask and apron unconscious next to Philip's corpse. And when we took the mask off, lo and behold, it's you. Look, you've got it all wrong. Oh, really? Well then, let's hear your version.
I was possessed by the ghost.
I was possessed by the ghost. Oh, now that impresses me. It's the truth, I swear. Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah, I don't think we should tell her to touch the idol. That didn't work out so well last time. Didn't kill AJ. So
just go and have a look in the basement. There's 2 corpses down there, Sir Roderick and Matthew Defoe. And take a look through those books I was carrying. There's a ghost here, I swear. Trilby, I am not going to let you drag me into your lunatic fantasy. Just keep your mouth shut. Simone?
my tie has the lockpicks.
What have you done with my tie? It was Jim's idea. We took it off so you wouldn't hang yourself. Why wouldn't you want me to hang myself if I'm such a cold-blooded killer? Jim still seems to think you might somehow be innocent. That boy really admired you, you know. I am filled with shame. I'm sure.
Suppose we could smash the window with the book. That won't be too easy.
Simone, what do you want now?
You're making a terrible mistake.
You're making a terrible mistake. Oh, am I? Why is that?
Haven't you ever watched a horror movie?
Haven't you ever watched a horror movie? There's always someone who gets wrongfully accused of the killings. And whoever does the accusing is destined to be horribly murdered next. What the hell kind of fancy world are you living in? You're the killer. That's a proven fact. There's no way of denying it.
Aren't I already talking to myself?
The fourth walls are meant to be broken. Trying to get the tie. I guess I might hang myself. I'm filled with shame. Where's Jim? Why do you want to know? So you can track him down and kill him. He doesn't know that I'm innocent. But he could be in terrible danger. I know. Until the police have you handcuffed, we all are. Yeah, maybe I should tell her to go touch the idol. So then she'd just probably kill Jim. There were more dialogue options about the ghost. Just shut up. I mean, there's something going on here because AJ freaked out when he first saw us. Partly because we were wearing the stocking or whatever sort of mask it was. It wasn't a welding mask. But then in the first night, both Trilby and Simone had the nightmare that everyone was dead and Trilby was wearing the welding mask. Now, we don't know much about AJ. It possessed me just like it did when I killed AJ. What are you talking about now? The ghost! It talks to me late at night when no one else can hear, trying to make me do things. Evil things. Shut up. It never leaves me alone. I can't sleep. Then I have the blackouts. I wake up with blood all over me in an unfamiliar place. It's happened so many times now that I can't count them. Shut up. Kill AJ, kill Philip, kill everyone. It wouldn't leave me alone. I'm warning you. We're getting somewhere. Let's try. I'm delirious with guilt most of the time. Oops. I still think I can get rid of the voice with your help. If you'll just let me out of here, you can help me exorcise it. There's probably some stuff in the library about... No way. You really think I'm stupid? There's no ghost. It's just you. You and your insanity. Sooner the police get here, the better. To go back through the dialogue tree as to where we were. Let's see. So I guess either try to scare her or ask for her help. I still think I can get rid of the voice with your help. My help? If you'll just let me out of here. That was what I tried the first time, wasn't it? Sorry, I think I clicked on it by mistake the first time. Possessed me like it did when I killed AJ. Delirious with guilt most of the time. I can see the face of every poor innocent I've killed every time I close my eyes. Most evenings I cry so hard I vomit several times. Sometimes I just want this nightmare to end. If death came right now, I'd welcome it. Simone, let me have my tie back. Oh, tie, please. Oh, to hell with it. Have it, you psycho. She gave us the tie so Trilby can kill himself, but of course there's a lockpick in it that he hid in there earlier. I'll just slip it on, and here's my emergency lockpick. See, this demonstrates the importance of forethought. Oops. There we go, unlocked. Where's Simone got to now? I've got to get her and Jim to believe me about the idol. Did she? I don't think she did tell us where Jim was. Oh dear. It's Philip. Someone has run him through with a machete. The worst part of it is that someone was probably me. Yeah. Oh, we're on a new day, the canvas. It's a portrait of a skeleton in a blood-stained safari suit. The plaque reads, Sir Roderick Defoe. Defoe Manor, the luxurious country home for a respectable aristocratic family, or the eerie home of a dark, ineffable secret. Why have so many people disappeared around the manor? What did happen to Sir Roderick Defoe and his teenage son? Is there really some kind of ghastly horror lurking in the basement? All this and more on The Haunting of Defoe Manor. Tonight at 9, only on BBC Two. I must say they put that special together rather quickly. It's interesting that Mr. Cheetham was killed, or hanged himself, just like Clarence Defoe did, but outside the house. It's as though the ghost has quite an extensive influence. Haha, no. But the idol's been put back in the broken bell jar. Looks like someone's done a little tidying up. Oops. Thing to do is go upstairs. I accidentally cycled to the wrong cursor, sorry. There's no reason for Simone and Jim to be hiding. I mean, Jim still thinks I'm safely locked in the shed, and Simone thinks I'm dead. see if a bloody corpse drags me into the tub this time. No one in here either. Where the hell is everyone? Trilby! Simone, before you say anything, I know you didn't really kill Phil or AJ. You do? I figured you were lying to get me away from the shed. I saw him again. Who? The killer. The guy in the welding mask. I spotted him downstairs, but he didn't see me. And I can't find Jim anywhere. Simone, you have to listen to me. The ghost... Oh, shut up about your ghost. It isn't a ghost, it's a regular flesh and blood psycho. Oh, speak of the devil. Do something. Shoot. Oh my God. Jim? How is he? He's awake. He's fine. Doesn't remember anything, just like I didn't. Look, I only sort of half believe this possession thing right now. But isn't in the absence of a better suggestion, I'm going along with it. Have you been going over those books I was carrying? Yeah, and some texts on the occult. Apparently, if we want to destroy the thing, we have to get the spirit back to its old body. That'll make it quasi-mortal. It'll still be dangerous, but killable. We have to find the body first. And to do that, we have to know who the ghost is. I've been thinking about this, and I have a fairly workable theory. Yes, I've a couple of ideas about it myself. Right, well, the ghost is something to do with the disappearance of Roderick and Matthew Defoe, right? The death and disappearances all started after that. Agreed. So what do you think? I don't think Sir Roderick's wife died naturally. I think Sir Roderick had more than one son. Sir Roderick obviously killed Matthew and disappeared. Let's try. Sir Roderick had more than one son. Yes, because of what I read in Sir Roderick's diary. Exactly. He makes references to some monster he helped create, and he doesn't mean Matthew. And Matthew talks about another boy in the house, a boy behind the kitchen door. Those manacles indicate that someone was kept imprisoned in the basement. Where do you think this other son came from? I want to hear what you think first. I think Belinda Defoe gave birth to twins. I think Sir Roderick fathered a love child while in Africa, which was before he married Belinda. I think Sir Roderick had an affair just before Belinda died. I mean, he was blaming himself for unleashing the horror on the anniversary of her death again. I think Belinda Defoe gave birth to twins. I agree with that. I found Belinda's death certificate. She died about 20 minutes after Matthew was already out. I think it was the second son that did her in. Sir Roderick was practically insane with grief. Blamed the poor kid for her death, kept him locked in the basement, refused to even acknowledge his existence. Can you imagine what that must have been like for the boy? Growing up in a filthy grotto like some kind of animal, given no education, no love. The boy would be completely retarded and insane. He probably couldn't tell the difference between one person and another. That's why he kills absolutely everyone who enters the house. He thinks they're all Sir Roderick come to torment him some more. But what happened on the day 15 years later when Sir Roderick and Matthew disappeared? You found their corpses in the basement, so they were obviously murdered. The question is, how and why? The other boy managed to escape. Sir Roderick went mad and tried to kill him. Someone found out about him and killed Sir Roderick out of sympathy. But Sir Roderick was talking about ridding the world of some monster and saying, "May God have mercy on my soul." Sir Roderick went mad and tried to kill him. Yes, remember, in Sir Roderick's diary, in the last entry, he talks about destroying the monster. He must have gotten really drunk, and it being the anniversary of Belinda's death didn't help. He went down to the basement and beat the poor kid to death. Half to death. Matthew found the body afterwards and tried to bandage him up. Matthew wasn't the sharpest tool in the box. His brother lived on for a bit longer. Long enough to get a mask and machete and kill both his father and Matthew. Then he must have just died of his wounds. Jesus! And we're going to try to destroy his ghost. None of anything that happened to him is his own fault. What little mind he had is no more. All he is now is hate. If we don't kill him, he'll kill us all. There's no reasoning with him. I suppose you're right. It's very sad, really. Well, what will you do now? I'm going to find his body, and I'm going to figure out how to bring his soul back to it and destroy him. Then let me know if I can be of any help. I will. Good luck. Thanks. And Jim's in there resting. Mr. Trilby? Yes, Jim. Can I ask you a favour? Sure. I still have the mask and the apron and the knife from last night. Could you take them and throw them away for me? I really don't like having them around. Sure. Thank you. No, thank you. Jim? Yes? How are you feeling? My head still hurts a bit, and I feel a bit woozy. Apart from that, I'm fine. What happened last night exactly? Well, me and Miss Taylor were in the living room. Then this big man entered with a mask and tried to kill us with a big knife. We were able to get away, but then we heard Mr. Harty screaming. Miss Taylor told me to wait here. A bit later, she came back and told me that it was you in the mask. I didn't really believe that. She went off to keep guard or something. Then I went into the trophy room and found this wooden doll on the floor. Next thing I remember, I was in the bathroom and my head really hurt. Did I really try to kill you? No. But something did, through you. I don't like this place anymore, Mr. Trilby. You and me both. See you later. So, did Jim like this place before? I mean, there's not exactly a lot to like. Gotta find the body. Finding a person with their possession. Tie the possession to a stick. Dip it in salt. A room where the subject sleeps. There's something. I seem to recall that we have to make a ghost detector out of the welding possessions. Machete. simple. Actually, half a moment, I'm just going to save my game. Right. No matter. Oh, hello, Cole Hirsch. Thanks for stopping by. You a fan of this game? Nice. Me too. I played it not long after it first came out, probably going on 15 years ago, and I figured I would give it another go, since as I'm learning how to stream. We're on day 5 now. Oh, thanks a lot. I do enjoy trying to do voices and such. And trying to do it for the different characters. I'm not the sort of cat burglar who leaves the taps running out of sheer malevolence. I take that to be a Home Alone reference. Yeah. Yes, hello, Molly. Are you watching this stream too? OBS software doesn't, as far as I can tell me how many people are watching. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I'm trying to find something. I remember that I have to cut up the welder's apron, but it doesn't seem to let me use the machete to do so. And my inventory's somewhat depleted. Oops. Yeah, there's never been much in this room. Do you chaps enjoy horror games? Yeah, me too. That's probably my favorite genre. It's a bit late for Halloween, but I figured we might as well make Halloween extend through November and play horror games. Ah, there's Simone. Simone, Trilby, how are you feeling? I'll feel a lot better once we get out of this madhouse. She's got a point. What am I supposed to be doing again? You need to find the ghost's original body and find a way to bring its soul back to it, then destroy the body and the soul together. Right. Now maybe she'll have a hint about where the body could be. I don't know. You seem to find the bodies in the basement, all right. Maybe you should use the same body hunting abilities you used then. And how do I destroy him? I mean, if I bring him back, he'll be undead. Wonder if it requires some special method. I have no idea. Maybe the summoning book in the library will offer a clue. Never mind. Hold on, I think it looks like there's something different on the dresser. Could that be? A pair of tough, hard-wearing scissors. Yeah, it's lucky I noticed that. It's the kind of thing that's easy to miss. Previously, I was stuck on day 2 because I checked most of the books in the library, but evidently overlooked the one I needed to progress the plot. And speaking of the library, is it? Books on the occult. There must be something about summoning angry spirits in here. Oops. Oh, that is the book. The Arts of Black Magic and Necromancy. Summoning angry spirits to their bodies. Murderous wraths are nigh indestructible when they can hop from body to body, but tying them down to their old bodies returns them to partial mortality, a state in which they can be destroyed. Simply enough, place the spirit's original body in a place of fire and death. Return it its old clothes, then read aloud the following passage, omitting nothing. There's just a load of magic gobbledygook here. When I want to read it out, I should use the book on myself. Warning: the summoning of a wrath will often bring forth other unquiet spirits, who will haunt those who hold their possessions. I remember how this is going to go down now. Have you guys played the other games in this series? Cut a thin strip off the apron. I only have to tie it to... I don't have our Grolly anymore. Yeah, that works. I know there are 4 games in the series, but I've only played this and the sequel. Because I have this odd tendency when I know a game is going to be good, I put off playing it, so I've been putting off playing the last 2 games. Which I hope explains some of the oddities of this game, such as the car materializing in the backyard. Oh, you've got to get to sleep? Well, my pleasure. Thank you, Cole and Molly, for stopping by. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and feel free to drop by anytime I'm online. Hopefully we'll be streaming more as I learn how to do it properly and better. A blank canvas. Even the corpse of Sir Roderick has vanished. Salty ghost detector. Oh, right, supposed to look at it. Either it's not working properly or it's pointing straight downwards. Corpses of Sir Roderick and Matthew. Straight downwards. And if he was tied to the wall, it stands to reason he would be sleeping there. I guess this must be where he slept if he was chained to the wall, if chained to these all the time. Alright, we had to do that first, and now it should direct us to his corpse. It seems to be indicating upwards. I wonder how. Maybe just sort of floating a little bit. Oops. I hope he's not buried in the front yard, or we'll be in for quite a time. Indicating upwards. So upstairs. Don't mind me, Jim, just practicing the occult, you know. Looking for dead bodies, summoning angry wraiths. Wraths. I just pronounced that wrong. It seems to be indicating to my left. What does that mean? Now let's use it again. It seems to be indicating to my right. It seems to be indicating to my left. So, it would suggest he's buried in either the hallway or the bathroom, where we had our little encounter with Jim.
I should go get some water, but I know we're fairly close to the end. It's pointing straight down. It's where the evil twin detector was pointing. I mean, yeah, I guess he is evil, even if he was kind of driven there and driven insane. And I can't get them out with my bare hands. Well, at least give it a go, Trilby. The worst you could do is break the scissors. I mean, aren't you going to steal them? Take them to your fence, you gentleman thief. Lovely, hard-wearing Victorian scissors. Oh. Since they cut the leather. That's right. Now I'm remembering. I can lever up the floor with the machete. Pay dirt. Wow, these bones are pretty oddly shaped. I think the kid must have been born deformed. Oh, poor kid. I mean, I know he's killed a lot of innocent people, but it's messed up what happened to him. You're coming with me. Wait, where are we taking him? Oh, no, I remember. It's that room of fire and death. Mysteriously ever-burning fireplace. And the idol that was used in death. Let's check today's broadcast. We can now go to Peter Daltrey reporting from the gates of Defoe Manor. Over the last couple of hours, a large number of police cars have gathered around the mansion grounds. I'm not exactly sure what the official position is. I have heard reference to a hiker hearing suspicious noises coming from the mansion over the last couple of nights. What's happening in there now, Peter? Well, since I arrived here, there have been 3 attempts to break down the front doors, all unsuccessful. I understand the authorities are still waiting to hear word from Michael Cheesham's office about getting hold of the key. Defoe Manor is, of course, reported to be the lost location of missing newsreader Simone Taylor. Afraid. That's enough telly for tonight. I kind of wish we heard the thundering of them trying to break down the door and not knowing what it was. Could have added more suspense. Oh yeah, the severed heads of animals. Even more death. Heavily decayed remains of Sir Roderick Defoe's unwanted son. I wonder who buried him under the bathroom tile. And do you know why they haven't replaced the bathroom tile since 1821? You know these English houses. I guess this would count as a room of fire and death. You need to give him the clothes. Somehow, I don't think I've improved his looks. Oh, and the apron and knife. Or a machete.
we need the others in here for the big climax. Simone, Trilby, could you meet me in the trophy room? Do you have a plan? Yes, I've got a plan. Okay then. We talk to the police. Nah, old Bill's not feeling very chatty this morning. No. Jim? Yes? Could you go down to the trophy room? Why? I have a plan. Well, okay. I remember this ending sequence had me terribly confused when I first played it, but the key thing is that it says in the Book of Black Magic that summoning up the wrath to his mortal remains will also awaken other unquiet spirits who will be tied to their possessions. And I think this is probably a good time to save, because before we raise a murderous and insane ghost with the machete he uses to kill. You'd think his mask and apron would be enough, but even the machete just to be safe, or not safe as the case may be. My father had a friend who worked in Alaska, and a drink of choice for people who worked there in manual labor jobs was some sort of liquor based on, I want to say it was fermented fish guts or fish heads, and it cost $1 plus 5 cents tax, so they called it $1.05 Come Alive, because drinking fermented fish can really wake you up. And that's why I gave the save game a title that I suppose was vaguely humorous once you explained the context. I've gotten entirely too much trash up in my brain, sorry. Anyway. Other unquiet spirits. Fortunately, nobody took the teddy bear from us when we were locked in the tool shed. Could you hold on to this for me, Jim? Whatever you say. Right. Whoa, this thing's heavier than it looks. I'm not carrying this around everywhere. I better find a place to put it down. And by a place, I mean a BBC correspondent. Could you hold on to this for me, Simone? Is this part of the plan, or do you just get a kick out of seeing women with big guns? Please, Simone. Oh, all right. And I think we're ready to put an end to the unfortunate welder, whose name I don't think is mentioned in this game. And by put an end to, I mean set up for the sequels. Here goes nothing. In this hall of death, and by the light of Prometheus' gift, I call thee. I bring thee gifts that may tempt thee back. I bring thee thy helmet. I bring thee thy armor, that thou would be clothed. I bring thee thy sword, that thou would be armed. It's thou, not thy. Come, come. It's stirring. Come. Jesus Christ! What now? Trilby, what? You. I knew you were evil from the moment you came into this world, demon child. May God forgive me for having a part in your creation. Why did you kill me, brother? I helped you when you were injured. I bandaged you when our father made his mistake. No mistake, young one. Now do you see why I tried to keep you away from this creature? It has no understanding of human ways. You're wrong, father. If you had ever given him a chance to be normal... Cease your prattling, Matthew. It's time to put an end to the horror I unleashed. What are you doing, father? Please, no, father! Father! Shot the wraith. I think now would be a good time to take our leave. As the apron caught fire, and now the whole cursed manor. Miss Taylor, over here. What the hell's been going on in there? We've been trying to get in there for hours, and suddenly the place catches fire. Her doors burst open, and you two. Us two? Where's Trilby? I thought he was right behind us. You're saying there's someone else in there? Trilby! Trilby! Wait a second. Trilby the cat burglar? Yes. Get someone in there. He could be in trouble. Maybe the ghost got him. Ghost? I think we'd better get you two down to the station. But Trilby, the fire brigade will find him if he's there. In the meantime, if you'd like to step this way... Death, of course, comes to us all. It came to Sir Roderick Defoe and his youngest son in the shape of each other. Was destroying the ghost the right thing to do? It was acting like any other dumb animal. Oh well, I guess he and his family will have plenty of time to discuss it, wherever they are. As for me, well, I have no complaints. I have lived a life many would consider out of the ordinary, and I've only one regret. Leaving Simone and Jim to explain it all to the police. That was hardly gentlemanly conduct for a gentleman thief, but I'm sure they'd understand that rushing out into a field full of police officers wouldn't have been a good idea. It's going to be a long walk home, and I have some important matters to attend to. I have to track down my fence, for one thing. Then I have to punch him very hard in the face. "5 Days a Stranger" by Ben Yahtzee Croshaw, fullyemblematic.com. That really is a good game. And I think it holds up pretty well, even if the graphics look dated. I mean, the decent gameplay. Nothing that's too hard to figure out, unless you're dense, like I sometimes am. And there you have it. 5 Days a Stranger. I don't know if we'll get around to playing the sequels. I did actually pitch this series. One of my internships, they asked me to come up with video games, especially horror, thriller, and sci-fi that could be adapted to film, and I suggested this series, the Chazot Mythos, as a possible candidate. I doubt they ever pursued it. But even when I first played this game, circa 2006 or something, I thought it really does feel kind of like a movie and could be a good candidate for adaptation. But anyway, thank you to everybody who joined me for this stream and gave me some practice interacting with chat. I'm going to watch this video, make sure that the sound quality is better now, and see if there's anything I can learn from it to do better, and then maybe I'll end up becoming a more regular streamer and starting to stream officially. But for now, that's about all, and I should see about raiding someone, I suppose. Do I know that's online? Actually, I don't know how to. Oh, right. Switch. I don't know how to conduct a raid. I'm still learning this software and probably should do so more thoroughly before subsequent streams. So I guess I'll sign off and say thank you to everyone who's watching. I hope you have a good night, and feel free to reach out to me with any advice. And I hope that you don't have nightmares about long-dead ghosts pulling you into a bathtub full of blood. I know I will.